Hey everybody, welcome back to the Cho Super Hyper podcast. I am one half of this podcast, Toku Tony, along with my other half, who is a little sick this week, so probably won't be talking as much.
Super Blastix here.
Yeah, you got a little bit sick there, man. How was your week with that?
Awful. I'm still recovering. I found out today that I have tonsillitis. And it's especially bad because we live in America and it is expensive to get sick here. So, and I'm not really employed right now. I mean, I am doing the sub thing, but it's not like I have healthcare with them. The goal, of course, again, I mentioned that before, is that I want to get a job that has healthcare. I hope I'm not sounding too low too. I can't help it. I'm sorry. But I want to get over this already. And I'm going to do my best. But if you remember at the end of the last episode, right at the end,
Literally right at the end,
you could hear me, like, my voice go out, and that's when it sort of started. So I tried all week to get over it and get better. But I guess it just got worse and developed into tonsillitis. So sorry.
Yeah, you wanted to record, well, we're recording this on a Wednesday. We're doing this super late, like behind schedule of how we usually do this. You wanted to record this on Monday, but you were like still super sick on Monday, and you just got like all this vaccination stuff, well, all the shots and all that today. Like, you're doing good today. But like the other days, you were like zombieing out.
Yeah.
Very, very commendable. You're trying to get this out as soon as possible.
I didn't get vaccinated. That's not what you get for tonsils.
No. You got like immunized?
Nah, dude. I got antibiotics.
There you go. That's the one.
But yeah, I wanted to get this done. I believe we could have done it. It would have just required you running the whole thing.
Yeah.
And just have me like jump in every now and then.
My voice like 99% of the time.
Which is kind of what's going to happen today.
Right.
You're going to be running most of the show, and I'll be jumping in when I can. I can see I'm not that loud on the levels, so I do apologize for everybody who can barely hear me. But yeah, I did want to get an episode out because it was kind of a busy week. Not even in terms of the show proper that we saw, but also online.
Yeah.
We can cover some of that. But first,
my week. Since last we talked with the spider situation, we finally got a bomb for that, a smoke bomb. They were gonna put inside my van for the weekend. Smoke that thing out.
Sorry. See, spider. But we're also talking about King-Ohger. So I thought you were talking about that spider.
Oh, snap. No. Don't read into what he's saying. It's not coming up yet. Yeah, so we finally got...
The spider you're talking about is the Black Widow you found in your truck
there you go.
That while ago.
Yeah. We found the smoke bomb for it, so we're going to do it this weekend. Hopefully it settles it. Something came in the other day for the podcast. The new SSD that we're going to use, like a memory bank that we're going to be able to put all our podcasts on. Before this, we've been moving everything with like a USB, like back and forth to our rooms. That's been good, like for the most part. Like, there was no problem with us doing that for like ever. But I just wanted us to have like all of the episodes and everything that we might need in the future all on one SSD, which was the Samsung whatever. I heard reviews about it. It's been pretty good for the most part. Also, we have more Ornament C now. This week I went to Dido again. I love going there. So good. I always have to refill on my Ornament C. and strawberry milk.
As
Really good stuff.
Speaking of Ornament C, the Geats version of that commercial finally came out too.
Yeah, you sent me that link.
There is no Buffa, so he is not the tertiary writer. Nago is definitively the tertiary writer for Geats.
Some would argue that Keiwa is a tertiary writer. I would not argue that point, but
no, that'd be a weird argument.
yes. Yeah, Buffa not being there, totally fine with that. Much rather have Keiwa in there.
Well, no, if they were going to replace somebody, it would be Nago.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they always want to have like a girl in there, right?
No. They only started that because of when 01 was Valkyrie.
Yes.
In Saber it was there was no girl.
No.
In Revice it was the siblings. So yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's only a thing when it needs to be a thing.
That's good now.
Yeah.
While I was out Dido that same day, I think that was Sunday. I also went to Seiwa Market. I just looked around in there. I didn't really get anything super crazy, but I went next door to Japan House, like a store that sells the model kits like for Gundam and figure arts and candy toys and all that. Not tokusatsu stuff, but just like anime stuff in general. I went in there looking for the new figurized Shin Kamen Rider, but I could not find it. They didn't have any figurized in there at all. So I was just looking for tokusatsu stuff at that point, like for anything. I found a lot of Ultraman stuff, super popular in there. But I ended up just getting Don Murasame, Yudo that they had there. Super surprised by that. And two little statues, like $10 statues.
The Converge, that's what they're called.
Yeah, of Kamen Rider Grease and Kamen Rider, I forget his name. The Bad Crocodile, purple, both from Build. Love them. And I also got
a Hazard.
Kamen Rider Hazard, maybe. I also got Super Blastex, the Don Momotaro SH figure art that was there. Yeah. Only one by itself.
Yeah, that was weird. Cool, thank you.
It was just there sitting by itself. Only $75.
No, you don't have to tell them how much it costs.
Too much, Japan House. Are you kidding me?
And you still got it.
And I still got it, yeah. So, that shows me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I showed up with that here. Super surprised. I didn't get anything really for myself. Just the little stuff. I always pack up on that Ornament C, though. That's the one thing that we have to get.
Yeah.
Ever since coming back from California. Oh, Japan Heroes.
Oh yeah, Japan World Heroes.
Japan World Heroes. Blastex has been sending me posts about that. That we're trying to go to that.
Maybe.
Hopefully, maybe in the foreseeable future. It's coming up in August. What I would say to that also is that I would love to go back to California. That's been like in the back of my head, like all of this year. I don't know if you noticed that.
No.
Like this whole time, in the back of my head, it's like I want to go back to California. You remember that one dream I was telling you about?
Yeah.
Where I was like in a future world, like another dimension, and I was like perfect there everywhere, and I just wanted to move everything and live there from now on.
Yeah.
I think that was my brain interpreting California. Regardless, I want to go back.
Yeah.
Maybe we can go back to Japan
World Heroes is a convention not dissimilar to Power Morphicon, but this is more dedicated to the Japanese side, so it's going to have more Kamen Rider, more Sentai, more Ultraman type stuff. It's also notably smaller. In the past, they have had guests like, I believe they had a couple of Jew Rangers before.
Wow.
And this also normally runs alternating to Power Morphicon. Power Morphicon is every 2 years, and this Japan World Heroes is usually in the in-between years. So this year, they just announced their first guest. Could be their only guest because again, these are smaller. In fact, this one is going to be in the Burbank Marriott.
Yeah, in the
So
hotel.
it's like right across the street from the airport where we landed last year for Power Morphicon. But their first guest that they announced is Go on Red from Go-Onger.
Yeah, cool stuff.
So I have seen a good amount of Go-Onger. I haven't finished it. Unfortunately, he is not enough to get me to go. There was one image that the Japan World Heroes used on Instagram that piqued my interest. You can see like Gaim in the background a little bit.
Yeah.
And that got my hopes up for maybe a Gakusano appearance. If that happens, that it's probably gonna have to be a yes. But we'll see. It'd be interesting.
And they're still using that picture too. They're still using Gaim as like the translucent background of it. On their Instagram, they put out a thing of like Japan World Heroes guest announcement on Monday, and it was a silhouette of the person that they were announcing. It turned out to be Go on Red, but to me, in the moment, it looked like Gavan. I thought we were going to see an old man Gavan be there. Yeah, I thought, oh man, that would have been crazy. I would have loved that.
There's no way they would have brought him out here.
And they still, there's a second post of Gaim translucent, just like that. It's the second post of them like that. Why are they using him like that?
Yeah.
I want to see him. Yeah, if Gakusano is there for real, I mean, we have to go, right?
We have to find a way.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Have to.
If I'm not dying.
Another thing for me is during that time, it's also in August. I think that same week too. It's Anime Matsuri here in Houston. Yeah.
Oh, well.
I love Anime Matsuri. Maybe not enough to go every year, but damn, it was so fun the last time I went.
Yeah, isn't it
too much money?
Didn't you get Sentai gears there last time you went?
I did. I got a lot of Sentai stuff. That stuff, and I looked for some other toys that they had for the series Zenkaiger at the moment. Just all overpriced stuff. Couldn't get any of it.
You saw Saber stuff too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the blue guy, his full book.
Blades?
At the time. Yeah, Blades. Super, like, it was like 3 times more than what Amazon was showing for it. And I was like, what? You just get it on Amazon. But then at the same time, I was like, why would I get it on Amazon if I don't like Saber?
Yeah.
Oh no, Patek didn't like Saber.
I think you're safe.
You say that, but people like Saber. People, like, I've seen on Twitter, people like Saber.
I think you're safe.
I think maybe. I didn't like Saber that much. Blastex here. I don't even remember your opinion on it.
I know, that's weird.
I don't remember your opinion on it. I think I blocked it out because you were hating on it so much.
Yeah.
I think so.
So yeah, you had that trip to that Japanese store on Sunday, and you got here right as me and my brother Omar were leaving.
Yeah.
To go to a church where my little sister had her first communion.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a thing. I'm not really a church person at all. And that's where I'm gonna stop that conversation.
Nice.
What else happened last week?
That was pretty much it for me. I didn't really do that much. So trying to figure out like what throughout the week, like how I can put stuff down for like what I did. Cause it's not like we don't do stuff every day.
I feel like I haven't done anything because I've been dying.
True.
But I hate how this feels so much.
And you were doing worse yesterday.
Yeah.
Craziness.
I don't know. Whatever. This happens. We're supposed to go see The Killers next weekend.
Yeah, we are.
I'm hoping this is gonna be a lot more manageable next week.
Mhm.
But if somehow I'm still like this come next month, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Because next month is when I see twice.
Right.
And I'm seeing twice. That's happening. Even if they have to take me in a stretcher,
Yeah.
I have to be like, or if I send somebody else to go, no, I'm not doing that.
No.
I'm gonna get better.
You're gonna be in the stretcher. Lucky.
Nope.
That's not twice.
That's not
God
twice.
damn it. Well, hey, a K-pop guy.
Did you hear that? I hope everybody that, if you know who Girls is, he just did one of their songs. Just thought it was twice.
Yeah, fuck it.
Leave a comment.
Lucky, something lucky. All right. Not really a K-pop guy.
It's not even K-pop either. Anyway.
Oh, nice. That just goes to show you.
Yeah.
I totally forgot that we're gonna go see the Killers next week.
Yep.
Next weekend.
Yep. Next Sunday.
Dude, you'll be fine.
Next Sunday.
Just persist.
And we have floor seats too. We're gonna be standing up the whole time.
Standing up the whole time.
Yeah. We'll see how
great.
I am.
I've toured my New Balances.
I already feel right now, as we're talking, my voice wants to die.
No, I hear it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna keep my. This is your show. You're
Right.
running this.
This is my show. It's my life. It's now or never. I ain't gonna wait forever. Is that the lyrics? No idea. Let's get
I don't know.
right into this week's superhero time. I don't want to sound like coming off like I'm a butthole because I'm so like energetic for this.
Oh, you know what? Before we get into that,
Yeah.
Let's talk about the stuff that happened outside the show on Twitter and
we
in
skimmed
other
over that.
places. I want to cover that before we talk about the actual shows.
All right.
So, hold on 1 second.
Hold on.
So before we got to, normally we record these we try to do it on Monday. We can do it on Sunday.
Right.
When we try to get the episodes early enough. Thank you, subbers. But Monday is usually the safer bet, and then we upload on Tuesday. You guys are listening to this on Thursday. And anybody who looks forward to these, I'm sorry for it being so late. I did put a post on the channel. But anyway, the episodes, I'm going to refer to it as our time here in America. The episodes for us air Saturday night. So, right after the episode aired, Saturday night on Twitter, the King-Ohger Twitter went ahead and gave away who the Sixth Ranger is, his suit,
Yep,
his gun, his sword, everything about him except for his mech, the actor, all that. So we now know a bunch of that information. I don't want to get super into it. I mean, it is out there and official, but I didn't get a chance to really wrangle that info up. And I just don't have it in me right now. You can find it on Twitter. You can maybe find it on my Twitter, and you can look through my retweets or whatever. But my probably favorite piece of information to come out from him is he's actually the Sixth Ranger for King-Ohger, is actually the narrator for the first episode of King-Ohger.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you remember, the first episode of King-Ohger opens with, in the legend, this countries and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. The Sixth is, his personality is basically going to be like a storyteller type guy. And he's going to be neutral.
Oh, neutral.
Because he's a spider. Technically, spiders are not insects. They are arachnids.
Arachnids.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I do like that he's white. We haven't had a Sixth that isn't gold or silver in a while.
Yeah.
So that's always exciting when they're not gold or silver. And yeah, we kind of got a bit about him. That's really exciting. The other thing that happened on Twitter or online after episodes air normally in Japan, Sunday morning, Toei will upload the episode onto their special streaming thing and then other sources so that if you missed it, you can watch it. Well,
what had happened was...
this past week, Toei uploaded episode 33 and episode 34.
Crazy.
The full thing. It was up for about 20 minutes.
Jesus.
So they uploaded an entire episode of Kamen Rider Geats literally a minute after the episode aired.
Yeah.
So people were, or maybe like an hour after, people were able to snatch that up and download it. So the next episode of Kamen Rider Geats is out there. We're not going to talk about it this week.
Right.
We didn't watch it. I don't think it's been subbed, but we're not planning on watching it. We're not planning on covering it, even though Twitter feels like they're talking about it as if it officially released.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of stuff on Twitter that was like, I didn't know any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I realized it's from the next fucking episode.
Next episode, yeah. I think that's not fair. I mean, that's a big blunder. Toei really messed up, but I think we should respect that was a mistake. Obviously, that was not supposed to happen. So I don't think we should talk about it as if it was an official thing.
Right.
So that happened. Just keep an eye out for that. We're talking about episode 33, which is the one that just aired properly on TV Asahi. So just hold on to that. And when we discuss it, because again, I haven't seen it, but I have seen some clips and I've seen like a couple of the cool moments of the next episode. Not entirely in context because again, they're not subbed. But it is going to be a little bit difficult to discuss what happens in the episode. This episode, not knowing what happens next. So because of that, I'm going to really try to bite my tongue on speculating what happens in the next episode. Following what happens here.
I don't really have to do that. I only saw from the next episode. I saw 3 tweets about it. And it was all about the same thing. So I don't
new intro.
Yes, right. So I don't know anything other than that. So whatever you're saying about like the thing of the videos and like the plot points, I tried to stay off Twitter for that moment.
Speaking of new intro, there was no intro in this episode.
Right.
So that's why we're saying new intro. But yeah, that's pretty much it if we want to start getting into the episode.
Yeah, let's do it.
Go.
Superhero time. Geats number 33, Baroba narrating what happened last week as Buffa is the winner as he gets the whole new world all to himself. Here we open up Ace, the star of stars, has been missing for a few weeks. No one can find him at all. As we see Buffa talking on a rooftop, gloating about Ace is gone. Like you're not. No one's gonna find him. At the same time, Keiwa is still also missing. He obviously got eliminated last week along with Ace and the producer. They're still trying to look for him. Neon, from what we see right here, Kyun watching Neon as she gets out of the store. She has no memory of the DGP. She walks right past Kyun as if he's not even there. Obviously, it gets Kyun a little sad and upset. We see Baroba and Buffa talking on the rooftop. You know, this is what you really wanted. This is how you did it. Baroba says to Buffa, "You're a little bit of a hypocrite. You're doing the same thing that the DGP wanted." And Buffa's just happy that he doesn't have the Jamato arm and anything. And he gloats, Baroba gloats that he's just a hypocrite in disguise. But Buffa doesn't really care. He's just trying to, he had his own mind and he won it. That's all he cares about. Coming up next, no intro. This is what we get instead of the intro. Not even any music. Just this. Coming up.
In the past, whenever we got that for like X8 or Build, we joked that it's because somebody was going to die.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen here.
Oh, spoilers. Spoilers, that could have been awesome. Yeah, while we were watching the episode, I did speculate a lot that someone was going to die because we got no intros. The last time this happened, or the last major time that I remember this happening was for X8 Christmas. I know it's happened after that, but this just made me think of that in that moment. I was a little bit scared because Ace is gone, Kale was gone. I didn't really know who was going to die other than Neon still being there. It was just speculation at the moment. Here we're going to the Game Master and Sumuri trying to scramble around. He's trying to gather up people. He's trying to gather up. All right. Gathering still. Hold on. I'm gonna cut this part out a little bit. So I'm just gonna try to get my notes a little bit bigger. There we go. Oh yeah. Okay. So right now the Game Master is trying to get a bunch of writers. He's still in that like entertainment mode. Of, you know, the people are still watching. We have to get this up and running. Don't you want to see what these writers can do to this god level buffer that's coming up now? He's still very much on the entertainment side. Sumuri is hating this. She doesn't really get the idea of all this. She's very much a part of it. But their plan is to get as many writers as they can and to beat Buffa. So these are the backup ID cores that they have right here from previous writers that were in the games but did not get a game over.
Look, a red Lopo.
Oh, cool. I also see, so we see a bunch of different ones. We see a couple new ones, or some like ones that I haven't seen before. There is a that looks like Oja from Ryuki on the right over there. We have another Neon. We have a dog. We have a polar bear. Looks like at the bottom middle. It looks like a gerbil or something. And the one to the left of it, that's the movie writer. That super fluorescent yellow on the left side looks like Real Soul Gold. On the far left, the one on the top right is a viper. So just a lot of whole new characters. Looks really cool, actually. I want to see what their suits look like. The Game Master is trying to gather up writers for this thing. Oh, that's a really good picture, actually. This whole episode, the Game Master is like being really assertive with Sumuri, like being like a real butt the entire time. Just because there's no one to check him at the moment. She makes a real face because she's hating this. She does not want people to die over Buffa. The Game Master says the ordeal is upon us. Or that guy says the ordeal is now upon us, leading to something ominous. And so we see Neon on like sort of a kind of a date. We don't really see anything that happens, like just little
an arranged date.
Yeah, it looks like a little chit chat of this dude here, like, what's your favorite color or whatever. In the back, we see the people watching them, the Englishmen. They're watching from afar. They say some English lines too. If you haven't seen that on Twitter, you should. It's amazing. They are visited by Sumuri. She says, "I'm sorry. You are now Kamen Riders." Usually she says, "Congratulations, you are now Kamen Riders." This time she's not feeling it. She is hating this. He pulls up the thing. They both touch their ID cores, and he says, "Watashi wa Kamen Rider." I am a Kamen Rider. Sumuri also gives the box to Neon. Sumuri can't really finish her sentence at all. She's super hesitant about this. Neon opens up her box and is about to open the ID core, but instead gets stopped to Buffa beating up on the previous Englishmen Kamen Riders that we now know are Kamen Rider Guran and Kamen Rider Lance. Before I was calling them Kamen Rider, like White Tiger and Black Panther, which is what their ID cores looked like. But from the subs, I think, or from Twitter, we got Guran and Lance. Buffa here, he gets a new form with that fever belt that he has and the new world that he created. He gave himself really awesome horns, really nice upgrade. He trying to boost his ego, trying to compensate for something. The Englishmen, they're getting wrecked for sure. They don't stand a chance, although they do fight pretty well. Their out of suit fighting is good in this episode. Buffa tells Neon, because he sees that she's about to touch it, she says, "Don't touch that unless you want me to take your life, and that you're better off not knowing." That's pretty ominous. Neon runs away as we see the Englishmen fight, and then Henshin. Unfortunately, no suits for us. No suits for the Englishmen. That kind of sucks. We pan over past their Henshin to see Buffa starting to fight. Oh, yeah, I put a note right here. It says, that man that was on the date got super scared and screamed like the Green Goblin. That reminded me of that. Baroba finds Neon after running away and makes her touch the ID core. Neon remembers everything. All of the past stuff, her real identity, the people that she's lost throughout the battles. And she collapses from all that information with like sadness and despair. Baroba basically did that to watch Neon suffer. She didn't need to be in the show, or she didn't need to be in the game in this moment, but she wanted Neon to touch the ID cord so that she would know everything, to suffer. And Kyun to the rescue. Kyun comes back while Neon says, "It all came back to me. It's all coming back to me, all of it." Then we cut back to Buffa beating Guran and Lance, getting their ID cores and crushing them up. He says, "You'll never be riders again." Crushing their ID cores, basically killing them, giving them a game over. As he's walking away, he says, "Forget it all." Super dramatic. Like, I'm really liking Buffa in this episode, even though he's the bad guy. This is what I always wanted from this character. We cut back to Kyun and Neon. So good. Kyun kept his distance from Neon from the entire time that she didn't know him. After the world reset, Kyun thought she was better off not knowing. Neon says, "Help me remember next time, God damn it. I want to, being myself is what's important," she says. And Kyun basically does like a little confession, like, you don't have to suffer. You can live with me in the future. Suffering isn't part of where I'm from. And she's not really digging that at the moment. So they just walk off screen together.
Yeah. So what's kind of, remember, whenever the world gets recreated, your memories reset. And in this episode, she mentioned something about her mom, like, "Oh, mom, you think mom's gonna like this?" or something like that.
Yeah. She got a present for her mom
so
while
that
shopping.
Means in this reality, she still believes she was the actual daughter and everything.
Yeah.
So when Baroba made her touch the core, she relived that trauma she experienced like 5 episodes ago all over again. So it was heavy for Nago immediately right off the bat.
Which is why she collapsed like immediately from getting that information. Super sad. We cut to, after that scene, this new writer, like a beagle, like a dog, beagle character getting beat up by Buffa, like not even a chance. There's the guy in the suit. He beats him. He crushes his ID core again, basically killing him, walking away, all mysterious like. And this guy was the last of those backup writers that that the game master was getting at that moment. We see him crushing his ID core. Those were all the cores that we saw before that the game master had picked up previously. and they're all gone. The game master even says one of those was even the Desaiety at one point. Like they won an entire DGP. I don't know who. It could be that Beagle.
I don't see Neon there.
No. She she touched the ID core, but she never put on the belt. So I guess that saves her, quote unquote. The game master's freaking out. He has no, like he has no more ID cores. He still has Geats there, but he just pulls out randomly, like he doesn't know what to do. He pulls out Ace's core. He sees it right there. They're both sad. Sumuri and the game master. They're how you say, super upset because they know that Ace is like their ace in the hole. Get it? So the game master has no other option but to ask for the help of the sponsors, Zine and Frog, which you see right here. The game master says if they beat Buffa to, get the vision driver back, they will get the game master will get KY and Ace back from the dead secretly. He says, I will secretly get back Ace and KY back from the dead. Which, how can you do that? Please let me know. That seems really good. If you can do that, why can't you get the producer back in this very moment right now? Right? Whatever.
Yeah.
He's very desperate right now. Zine will help, of course, because he likes Ace. The Frog says he'll get things done his own way, sort of ominous like. Here we see Buffa coming up in this little area, which only can be accessed by these people. Buffa tosses the vision driver back to the game master, giving him back Glare 2. Buffa says, you are the last riders. Hurry up and henshin so I can beat you already. So that's what they do. They henshin as they start to fight because they think, okay, this is going to be easy. The game master says, you'll regret challenging the game master to a fight. Buffa henshins with this cool new form, new quote unquote. And they prepare to fight. Sumuri is like having a crisis right now because she can't really do anything. DGP is like not active. Buffa gets shot by Zine's lasers. He eats it. He's eating all of these attacks that they're both giving him. The form is called Fever Zombie because of the roulette. That comes up earlier. Buffa's wrecking shop.
Actually, the form is called Mao Zombie, or Mao Buffa, because he does have one new thing on his costume, is that the horns are new. They're different.
Right.
And this is stuff you would find on the Kamen Rider blog after the show.
Oh, okay. But I didn't read that.
Mao is godlike, right? Or godly?
Mao is Demon King.
Okay, yeah. So in this form, he specifically has powers that he has advantages over other Kamen Riders. Specifically, this form is advantageous over other Kamen Riders.
The power to destroy all other Kamen Riders. That was his wish.
Yeah.
And he got it. They moved to this dirt valley. Obviously, Buffa's wrecking up shop. They moved to this new location. Glare 2 and Zine are trying their hardest. And we see Sumuri still in that area. She says, is this all I can do? Just watch. She's going through it. Zine hits Buffa with a finisher, but he eats it immediately. Zine goes down, and the Game Master is next. Buffa tries to hit him with that slash, but the Game Master does that weird worm thing he did a few episodes back. It was a little gag back then, but now it's really cool. The Game Master is trying to bargain with him. Like, don't hurt me, don't kill me, this, that, I'll give you whatever you want. Buffa says he wants the world without the DGP. That he hates the whole thing. Glare 2 is saying, you got your powers from the DGP, dude. Like, lower your head, like, know your place. And Sumuri still having the Geats ID Core honor. Sort of praise to it, or like just in a hope, just remembers everything Geats did for her and the games and all that. She asked the ID Core, what would you do? Like talking to Ace, what would you do if you were here? How would you save this? Glare 2 hits a finisher, but Buffa eats that too. Literally, he just splashes it with his chainsaw sword. Big explosion. Glare 2 goes down. But Sumuri still sort of praying to the Geats ID Core. We cut back to her. All of a sudden, in the middle of their fight, after the Game Master's blow to Buffa, we see this big red flash of light get in between them right before Buffa's about to do the finishing blow to Glare 2. It comes out of nowhere. That thing right there. Sumuri looks down. Oh, it has an ominous figure. It transitions into Geats. He's back, baby. Still looking cool. He says, I am a fox. What does he say?
He says, I am a fox.
He does. Literally, he does. He says, I am a fox. Sumuri no longer has the ID core.
It's the incantation that he says it in. Like,
oh, yeah?
I am a fox. Like, after all, like, I think of me as a spirit.
That's what he says.
Yeah, he's being snarky about it. Like, that's I am a fox. That's how he says. He doesn't just say, I am a fox. He says it like snarky, like a fox. Like
right,
he is.
Right. I didn't write that down. I totally forgot to do that. That's what he says. Sumuri no longer has the core. Oh, I did write that. Geats says, I am a fox, consider me a spirit. I fucking wrote that down. Why didn't I say that? He henshins. Oh, she is starstruck. She does not know what's going on.
I like this episode just because there's so many good shots of her. Carry on.
Yeah, all right. Zine is super happy to see Ace here. He transforms with boost Magnum. Geats Buffa says, you're no match. Literally, don't even try it, dude. But Geats points his gun to the Game Master. Points his gun to the Game Master. Someone in the background says, is Geats coming back? Is that really for the benefit, or is it a hindrance? He says that. He says the curtains dawn on the Desire Royale, or on the DR, and that Sumuri is finally awakening. That's the ominous thing he says, leading back to like the Goddess of Destruction thing. And the end card of this episode was from the Desire Royale, the new red backplate. It says ID cores that are destroyed can no longer be writers. But it doesn't say anything about them dying. It just says, yeah, the ID cores that are destroyed can no longer be writers. What do you think about the episode?
It was interesting. It feels more and more like the writers don't know what to do with Nago. Because she's just having less and less to do.
Dang.
I'm going to be pleasantly surprised, hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon.
But
because it's all leading to something.
Hopefully.
Right.
But this episode was fine. It was interesting that Gates just came back. We can assume from this how he came back,
right?
And the assumption is, especially with the way that guy spoke at the end, Sumuri is going to be the next Desire deity,
the next goddess of creation.
Yes. So that it sort of said it like a cycle, right?
Yeah.
So that means she's going. She already was his mom, or she's going to be something. I don't know, something.
It alludes to something greater.
So we'll see what happens. Yeah, it was a cool episode. I,
Yeah.
let's see what happens next week.
Yeah. I don't know anything about next week, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
You do though.
I didn't watch anything.
But you said you saw.
Well, yeah, I mean, I saw the
Not nothing.
2 pictures, but I don't know any of the plot points. I don't know what's gonna happen.
And I mean, you can, from what you saw, you can assume because of the previews for the next episode at the end of this. Yeah.
Got him. This episode was I feel weird about this. Like how you're saying the writers don't know what to do with Nago.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they just brought her in as a side character, sort of, just to have her in there, be with Kyun, and then walk away, like how she did 5 episodes ago. I want to see what they do with her. Going forward, she touched the ID core, and she still has that belt, so maybe she could do something with that. Hopefully, even though she wasn't on the she wasn't on that little display card with all of the ID cores that all said lose on it. I want to see what they're setting up for Samuri. It seems like the entire time we haven't really gotten a clear explanation as to what the navigator does. I mean, we know that she gives the belts to the riders, and that she sort of narrates and helps the games, but we don't know really the extent to what the navigator means. If they're going through space and time, does she control that? I don't know. It seems like they're ramping up to explain that sort of thing, like how it works like that. So I just want to see where that goes, if it's going to go somewhere great, or if it's going to go in a place like they had to think about it after.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I trust the writing. I trust these guys. The Kamen Rider guys always come up with something wacky at the end. Wacky meaning it could be very bad, or it could be all right. I'm always hoping for very, very good, because I love Kamen Rider. I love Kamen Riders.
Yeah, we'll see. Please don't comment below if you've seen the following week's episode already.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that on Twitter. We'll see.
And people are definitely doing it on Twitter regardless.
Yeah.
Regardless.
But okay.
Next. Oh, yeah. Is that your final thoughts on Geats?
Yes.
All right. Next one is King-Ohger, number 9. Previous episode, we saw the grasshopper come into the fight, break everything away. Grasshopper hops away, and the crowd here, with this big instigator guy, says, "Oh, the king must have done it! Hooray, the king! Let's all hooray, hooray, hooray!" The kids aren't really concerned about that. They're concerned about Gira, because they just saw him die. They're all really super sad about that. We cut to Rackley's, we cut to them in the cave talking to Gira. You're still badly hurt. We need to keep you in here. You got to stay in the cave. You're our ace in the hole. You got to stay.
Right now, you are dead.
There you go. That's what I was looking for. Right now, you are dead. You have to stay dead for a little while, just until we can strategically find you a way to pull out. Rackley's wants to find his body though. They tell him there's a search out for you. That's a good shot. What exactly? I forget what exactly she says. Do you know? She says...
He says, well, the strike you said that he landed on me wasn't fatal, right?
There he goes. Yeah.
She says, yeah, I checked. And he says, oh, what if it was on purpose? What if he purposely missed?
Damn.
And they're like, no, you idiot.
That's funny. I have that written. Gira thinks he missed on purpose. Right after that, Rita headbutts him in the stomach, and he says, "Do as you're told."
Because Gira gets up and he wants to go.
Yeah, he's raring to go.
Down.
She does a scream. Rita does a scream. So cool. And then the intro rolls. Bugnarok wants to invade finally. Like, he thinks everything's going around. All the guardian spirits are finally out. He can finally get in there. He says, "Forgive me, Terra, the planet, or the world. I must destroy you so that the lesser life forms will be destroyed also." How you say? Gira is the ace in the hole for the other kings, so they need to keep him hidden for as long as possible. They all agree to that, and they all go in for like a group hand thing. No touching though. Don't touch. Don't touch. Rita screams. Very. I don't know. Do you like that? That she's like screaming all the time? I like it.
Yeah.
It's just strange.
They're socially awkward.
Very true. But before they have.
Why is he their ace in the hole?
Shoot. Oh, because they don't expect him. He can summon the King-Ohger. He can summon King-Ohger anytime Rackley's thinks, okay, you have to follow me now. Kira's gone. He's the only person that can do it. I can do it. You gotta follow me. They have to ensure peace first. That's what Black says. He says we have to ensure peace first before we can, we have to unite. But as they walk away, we learn that all of them have ulterior motives. They all call in their retainers.
They all have the same ulterior motive.
Right. They all have the same ulterior motive. Is don't share Gira. Gira is mine only. They all talk to their retainers here. They're all talking to their retainers. Keep an eye on Gira. Get him to my kingdom now. And that's what all the retainers do. Except for Morphonia. We called her Morphina earlier because that's what it said on the Ranger wiki. She says she's off the clock. Morphonia. But we see all the retainers go away or go to Gira. As Morphonia is on the way to go, she sees the mooks, the bug people fighting the kingdom, and she tells Rita, "Come quick." But all of the kingdoms all at once are being attacked by the Bugnarok. All at once. And everyone deploys to go, fight for their stuff. But all of the retainers are ordered back to go get Gira. He's there, just chilling, just sleeping. And all of them meet all at once. It's sort of like a coincidence. Oh, I didn't fancy you seeing here. Gira thinks that they're here to watch him, like just to supervise him a little bit while the kings are out and all that. The retainer, the what do you call that guy? The Kudarak? I forget his name. The guy in all black, the stagehand. He has a really cool voice.
The Kuroko?
Kuroko. That's his name. Gira says he likes his voice because he has deep calming. They all are surprised by it because they don't usually talk. Blue. We see Sebastian next to Gira. Sebastian says, "Well, we should get you to my kingdom. We can better help you over there. We can like sort of sort you out, make you stronger." The blue retainer says, "I don't think a place with doctors and flowers can really help you get stronger, dude." Sebastian says, "Don't underestimate my kingdom." As we cut to Yellow pensioning and fighting the kingdom mooks. We get to see Yellow fighting the mooks. We see the doctor, a person on a civilian, gets hurt. We see the strength of their kingdom. Doctor comes up, heals him real good. But we see Bugnarok spawns into the kingdom, fighting Yellow. He says,
Death Narok.
Death Narok. shoot, I forget what he says. It's just something along the lines of, "I will defeat you. Like, this is my kingdom now." We cut back to Sebastian on the phone saying, "Ishibana, that's a bad idea. Their kingdom, yeah, it's a bad idea to go there right now. Probably not right now." Blue Retainer says, "Okay, then we'll go to Konospia." As we see Blue fighting the mooks. Again, they shoot bullets of like their little selves. That's the best part. So cool. Blue's fighting valiantly. He says, "Avoid any trouble, but get here like as soon as possible." They're stopped at the gates by the guards of the Red Kingdom. I forget their name.
Shugadam.
The guards see them. Like, they see them. They tell them, "Stop going, keep going, stop going." While they're just standing there. The guards see them. That red guy, I forget his name, but he is part of the kingdom he is part of the kingdom that, he's like Rackless's retainer. He sees Gira, and we think, oh, he's going to recognize him immediately. But actually, he thinks he's this genius boy, this genius middle schooler. And he's like, "Oh my God, my son loves you. I need to get an autograph. I need to get a picture, all that." And the blue retainer is just like, no. Okay, we got to go. Yeah, let's get out of here. They're trying to avoid all the trouble. Here we see Rackless and Black, arguing, sort of little discussion about him being a traitor. He says there are rumors that you have your own guardian spirits to control King-Ohger. And Rackless says, "Don't believe the rumors, and don't have that attitude with me, because last episode we saw."
Says, "Well, if you believe those rumors, then maybe you should adjust your attitude."
There you go. He saw, this is what Black saw last episode, whenever he was off doing his own thing. King-Ohger, just like that. We see Rackless sort of the good spiral down to madness, which is what I wanted to see for his character, as he sort of walks away. Tofu's under attack now, the land that they're in right here. We see Black Henshin take out all the mooks, looks super nice, but again, we see Death Narok come in, shoot in with the tentacles that he has. He says he's planning something with his tentacles. He puts them in the ground and says that he's feeding something in the ground. Black tries to stop him, but we cut away to, oh, there it is. Black gets corrected a little bit. Those are the tentacles. He is feeding into the ground something. Gira plus the retainers see all this is going on, and they say, "Okay, Tofu's not that safe. Let's go somewhere else." Everyone's watching what happens. Everyone is like suspicious of each other. They're not really getting along. They're all kind of getting that vibe. Oh, okay, now they think you want me to go to there. You want me to go to there for your own benefit. Gira's not having any of it. He's super annoyed by all this. He starts to walk away as they're fighting amongst themselves. And then we see, oh yeah, it's them fighting amongst themselves. Gira kind of gets he gets the idea of like, okay, these guys aren't being very truthful.
They sort of spoil that their whole plan was to take him to each country.
Right.
As he asks him, "Well, who told you that?" Yeah. So their plans are foiled here.
Yeah, they're not the brightest. Oh, that's a good one. He does tee.
And then, yeah, they're fighting. Gira says, "Whatever, I'm going to go to Shugadam."
F it, dude. And here we go, Latch Retainer, Morphonia. Like, "Oh, hey, Gira, I was just looking for you, dude." And puts him in handcuffs immediately. And they go off. Oh, look at Morphonia. Best character. 10 out of 10. Back to the Ice Kingdom. She's imitating Rita. She says, "You're sentenced to stay in this kingdom forever and ever under my law." as like sort of a joke, and all the retainers start to argue with Morphina. It's like not really super serious. Morphina says she's not really much of a retainer, as less as of a retainer, more as like a successor to being the judge and all that. She's not super into like the loyalty and guild sort of thing of it. Oh, it's a nice set. Let's see. Oh yeah, Gira says. Morphonia says, it's a bit too idealistic to what Gira is saying about. Don't you have loyalty and passion for your kingdom and all that, and for your king? What does she say right there? Totally forgot. She had like little speech. Oh, she was talking about what Gira was saying. Gira says, being brought up with kids, he's learned that keeping them safe. Gira learned growing up, he thought he was keeping them safe, but they were also keeping him safe. They were his salvation. You help the people around you, and they help you help them. He reflects about his life and about the people that he grew up with. Morphonia says it's too idealistic. As we cut to, Morphonia has a rebuttal for Gira. Gira says, well, haven't you asked Rita for help? Haven't you helped her out? She's like, it's not really like that. We see Rita fighting the mooks outside while Death and Rock pops up again. He says, you're the last one. You're the last one I got to take out. And the mooks attack. We cut back to, the big mooks come up this time. We go back to Morphonia. They all come outside. She unlocks his cuffs, gives him the sword, and says, here you go. Please go help out, please. Gira gets his sword, henshins, and gathers all to become the King-Ohger. To become King-Ohger. I said the King-Ohger, that was weird. He fights the mooks for a little bit, and then the grasshopper appears. He comes in, hopping around. He's looking, since Gira can understand what the shoe gods are saying, he's looking for the other shoe gods that disappeared or that ran off together. He says, my beloved something, their names.
Sassorin.
There you go, Sassorin and Kabuto. He says, beloved? What do you mean? He's a little confused by that. He's like, I get it. He's having a hard time. The grasshopper's having a hard time putting it into words. So he's jumping on Gira, like trying to give him a hug. He says, okay, whatever you can't say, whatever you can't say how you feel, do how you feel. They combine immediately. The grasshopper is totally syncing up with Gira already. How you say, he wants to fight with the grasshopper. The grasshopper's name is Bata, which I think is like the insect name. He wants to know where his beloveds are. That's his whole thing. They henshin together. They combine immediately.
Well, it's a love triangle. So the grasshopper likes the scorpion. Scorpion likes the Kabuto. The Kabuto is completely oblivious, and the grasshopper has like a pissing contest with the Kabuto.
Hell yeah.
But again, the Kabuto is oblivious. And again, this is stuff you would see on Twitter.
Oh, right. I should get on the toku Twitter more. I try to avoid it to not get spoilers, like how all last week I did, which is why I don't know what the subtext is going on. But he says it's hard to say what you feel. You just have to hug it out. You have to do what you feel. And then they henshin together. The grasshopper with King-Ohger creates this big V on the chest, and gives him attachments to its legs, makes him hop huge as they go up. Oh, it's a good shot. We see him jump up and then kick down on the last two of the big mooks as we see that explosion go off in Morphonia's glasses. Oh, feelings are hard to put into words, so put them into your actions. Grasshopper detaches, and Gira says, "Good luck to finding them," and also, that love triangle. We cut to Morphonia looking for Rita in the grass, and she finds Rita defeated, dehensioned, and all that, all bleeding. Then we cut to Gira looking at the retainers, and now they're all beat up, all bloody and defeated. While Death Narok is right there, he announces, before that we see a montage of the other kingdom leaders. They're all beaten up. Obviously alone, they stood no chance against Death Narok. Oh, that's a good one. He pops up. He's the first one to pop up because he's just that guy. He announces, "I am Death Narok the 7th. I am here to take over the world." What he's been doing this entire time is he's been feeding the huge eggs that have been underneath the kingdoms. Every kingdom now has a huge egg that's been fed by Death Narok himself with all this power. He declares, "We multiply, and thus we are infinite," which is a really good line, considering that they're all like bugs and insects. He attacks Gira, and that's how we end the episode with this shot right here. What do you think of the episode?
I really like the idea of having an episode that was mostly focused on the retainers. I don't think we get it this soon, because that's totally something you could see later on in the series where, it's a goofy day where Sebastian has to get red flowers for Himeno Ran, but the red flowers are only in Kaguragi's country, so like a little silly episode just about them. This, granted, was not silly.
I think you called that. I think that's gonna happen in the future.
Maybe, I don't know. Or like a side story or something. But yeah, my only thing so far with King-Ohger, I'm loving this show so far. It's really, really fun. It is, for me, really dark and dire already.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Episode 9. I do miss when it was more fun and goofy, and I'm saying that having the last thing we got was Dawn Brothers, which was just nuts to butts.
Just goofs.
Crazy.
Like literally just goofs.
So I'm not taking this for granted because I had my goofy last year. I just think it's crazy that this episode 9, it's still just serious, sad, really big deals every single episode, major stakes. This is good for, again, Sentai. Like I said last time, they're really pushing the envelope on what a Sentai show can be, and they are doing that this time. I'm just concerned that if they keep raising the stakes this fast right now, we're not gonna have anywhere to go later on in the show. But we'll see. I did enjoy this episode. It was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot. There wasn't much Gira fighting, which is another thing that's happening a lot in this show, where it's a lot of him in handcuffs, which is it works because it's part of it, but it's just kind of funny. What do you think?
I totally agree with you that this is very serious for a Sentai. Like how you said last season was all goofs. Oops, all goofs. And this is seeming to be like the Game of Thrones of Sentai. In seriousness, not in like plot or anything, but that is what I am liking about this series so far. It's they're ramping up like in the seriousness of like the whole plot progression, even though the stories before were just as serious, maybe less. I like that we're jumping into all this now, because if it's all high stakes now, my thinking is that by the end of the show, it'll be like a super easy transition into the next one, and not like last season, which was a problem where it was all goofs all the time, and then we had a bunch of plot points and all like the serious parts of the story that were like either not answered or like answered at the very last point, and like they needed that that plot point to end. I think with this option, even though they might not do it, but with this option, it definitely gives us more time to be silly at the end, goof off a little bit, have that slower, more happy, fun transition to the next series.
Yeah. Yeah, I just like I said, I'm scared that if they're doing so much so fast, are we gonna have high stakes enough later in the series?
Oh god, it's gonna turn into Saber all over again, where they killed the main character 10 episodes into the show.
A main character, not the main character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Saber or Vice, where the show ended like 3 times.
Yeah. There were 3 possible endings where you could just stop watching and then keep on going.
That Juga thing, man. I know people like that character, I guess, but
oh, dude, I love Juga.
That ending was just why?
Because he mentally broke. I'm not gonna get into it. Juga is a ridiculous character. He is Kamen Rider fan service.
Yeah,
and they didn't have anywhere else to put him in the show, so they put him at the end, which kind of sucks because his character is cool, if albeit goofy.
What?
Albeit goofy. He's a goofy guy.
Goofy goober.
He in fact, he is a goofy goober. In fact, his name is Kamen Rider Juga, and his sound effect for the belt is the goddamn Arkle. All right, so cool. His suit is a reminiscent design of Kuga's final amazing mighty form. Jesus Christ. Anyways, I love Kuga. If you couldn't already tell.
Name 3 of his albums.
Pegasus, Titan, and damn, I can't. What? Pegasus, Titan, and wow, I can't name the green one. Are you kidding me right now? Anyways,
well, that's what this is gonna become. Let's go. Come on.
No. Okay. Google Forms. I gotta Google it, please.
No, it doesn't count anymore.
Oh, dude, help me out. Come on.
Sasorin.
No, yeah, I got Pegasus, Titan. What's the green form?
Seafoam.
Seafoam, that's it.
Not it, everybody.
No, it's not it. It's not Seafoam. Dragon. God damn it. It was the blue form that's Dragon.
Okay, but what's the green one?
The green one was Titan. The purple one's Pegasus. I'm stupid.
You didn't say Mighty either, huh?
Mighty is the red one.
But you didn't.
No, I didn't say that. Also, the white is growing. Just a little trivia on that. Whatever. This is a really good episode. This is super up my alley, as in like the stakes.
You talking about King-Ohger?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, King-Ohger. This is right up my alley for really good episodes, but since it was focused mostly on the retainers, it's not as high on the list of like top King-Ohger episodes right now. I know previously in the previous podcast I said I want a story with just these people, but now that we got it, it's good, but at the point that we're getting it right now, seems a little unfortunate for the retainers. I wish we could have seen a little bit more for that. But regardless, they all did such a good job. The goofs and gags in this episode were good, and they were actually funny. They actually got me. But I just want to see what they do with Death Narok. Us doing the podcast, we haven't gone over this big, glaring horse in the room about Death Narok.
No.
Why not?
You said a horse in the room?
Yeah, the horse in the room.
What?
You know, whenever there's like something that people don't want to talk about, You say the horse in the room.
Audio listeners, I just stared at him right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's talking about.
You know, whenever there's something awkward you don't want to talk about, you say, "Can we address the horse in the room?"
See, as you said it, as you said that, you realize what it actually is.
No. I knew what it was. I just didn't want to admit I just didn't want to admit I was wrong. I didn't want to address the horse in the room. Okay. Whatever.
Okay.
We haven't been talking about the elephant in the room with Death and Rock. Where is he? How does he always go underground? How can he come up wherever he wants and he hasn't invaded the kingdoms yet? Why does he need to use the mooks if he can just go underneath any kingdom? And if the eggs have always been underneath the kingdoms, why can't he do it? Why can't he charge them from underground?
Yeah. Because plot.
Because plot. But I'm glad that we're not focusing too much on that.
Yeah.
And we're focusing more on like the human element of like the team and everything like that. But that's always been in the back of my head since starting the show. I see them in like the little cave thing and I'm like, where are they? How far is that place from the other kingdoms? Wait, do they always have to go up in one area? Why is Death and Rock always popping up right where the Rangers are? Can't he just pop inside of the kingdom? Whatever. I'm thinking too much into it. Probably. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
But you never know with these shows, man. Sometimes it could just be a fun kid's show like Car Ranger. And then sometimes you can get into real moral dilemmas of self-preservation. Like in Sentai. I don't know. No. Like in... Oh, I got you. Shinkenger. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Good example. I knew I was pulling that from somewhere. Anyways. Do you have anything else to say about the show?
Not right now.
About Dasho? About Deathstream? Oh, Revice reference.
No.
No, okay. This has been the Cho Super Hyper Podcast. But you knew that already. I have been one half of the show, Toku Tony. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, at Toku Tony. And the other half of the show is...
I am Super Blastex. You can find me Super Blastex on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and soon Discord.
Hey, we're putting that in the chat.
I'm on Discord, but they're changing the username things. You'll see.
That has been it for the Cho Super Hyper Podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are here next week. Sorry for the late upload. And sorry for the weekend. I don't know. Bye bye. Jesus.